How Washa Stephanie. It's so beautiful today. It's raining, but just. So enough people have given up on being outside, and so it's really empty, which after this holiday week is beautiful because it's been really packed. A lot of people come into Shanghai for the Mid-Autumn Festival holiday, and I guess they're all headed back. I am at Xiangyan Park. I'm sure I got those tones totally wrong, which is right across from the IAPM Mall, and having lunch close by, and I had some time to get some beautiful, look at this greenery, some beautiful, beautiful scenery in the background of a burning question video that I want to make. I apologize for the jitteriness of the 100 and some videos that have happened, but my gimbal is on its way. In the next few days I will be receiving my gimbal, which should help with all of the shakiness. And I ordered one that comes with a tripod, I think. So this is gonna be good, but we wanna get to the burning question, right? Okay, let's see. I wanna walk in an area that, I didn't know they had that here. Anyway, I love parks in China, and well, mostly in Shanghai because I know these the best. I don't know if every city in China has as many parks and as interesting as parks as they do here. But anyway, I want to get to the burning question. I swear this is not an advertisement for Shanghai. Right, so the burning question. I have assumed that the frequent words, I have assumed that people use different words for speaking than they do for writing. For example, I'm talking about genres. Genres. Like, for example, in English, which is my only comparison at this point, if you're going to talk to a friend versus you're going to talk to your professor or your boss, there's a very different level of formality, and there's very different vocabulary there's similarities, of course. There's always an overlap in the Venn diagram, but there's differences. Now, if you talk about writing, which, since I'm focused on reading, I really think about the reading genres. Like, when you go from newspaper to novel, especially like fiction novel, to an email, there are very, very big differences. And when you go to email and then text message, there's incredible differences in also structure of the sentence and punctuation, in abbreviations. I am that person that does massive SMS or text message abbreviations that drive people crazy. I am that person. Right, so I assumed when learning Chinese that there would be genre-specific vocabulary or structures or things like that, but mostly right now I'm still focused very much on individual components like words. I'm up to words, right? So I assumed that they would be different, but what I keep seeing are frequency lists that don't seem to specify for speaking versus for writing. And so my burning question is this: do they exist, or is the same vocabulary used in all contexts, which would, oh my God, seriously simplify things. But for example, even the HSK1, HSK2, from what I can gather, it's not my focus, so I haven't deeply researched it, but from what I can gather, it is based on frequency of usage. Frequency of usage of what? Is it just in general, because speaking and writing are so similar as to what language you would use, or is it focused on one or the other? I haven't found anything telling me that either way. I don't know. Again, I haven't researched it fully because it's not something I'm deeply interested in, but it is something I think about. Like, I keep assuming that there will be differences because of the genres. I love pagodas. Look at that. That's really cool. Anyway, but maybe there aren't. Maybe since, well, the grammar is to an extent coming from English a lot simpler, right? Because there aren't inflections in the verbs. There are time words and things, and I'm still figuring out what those are right now. But so I wonder if the vocabulary issue is simpler as well, which would be awesome. Now, I know some of you had mentioned in writing, especially in newspaper writing, that some of the writers use specific styles that would be hard to understand if you hadn't studied grammar. So clearly there's something that's different from writing to speaking, but vocabulary-wise, that's really, really where my focus is right now. Is there a huge difference between writing and speaking? I hope this makes sense. I studied a lot linguistic-y stuff. I studied like frequency and genres, and especially writing genres, and I was teaching writing, and I was really stressing the different things, like the different types, and to be aware of your audience and all that kind of stuff. Anyway, so I'm super sensitive to using the right vocabulary for the right context. Still love that pagoda. It's so cool. Yes, I am trying to get the right photo of me and the pagoda in the same shot. Super hard. There we go. Okay, that was cheesy. I'm so sorry. Anyway, so for those of you that read Chinese, please do tell me. I mean, I understand within writing there's probably genre differences, but from writing to speaking vocabulary-wise, here's the burning question in its most succinct form. Are you ready? Da, da, da. Is there a really big difference between writing and speaking vocabulary when it comes to frequency of vocabulary? Because the reading book I'm using right now is focused on the 1500 most common words, and there is nothing in the book talking about for what. Is it for speaking? Is it for writing? Is it for a certain type of writing, certain type of speaking? Like, there's nothing in there. It just is most common. And for somebody who studied frequency, and genres, I really struggle with grasping when, in what context are these the most frequent. And if it's all, holy cow, that makes this so much easier. I mean, it's super difficult, but it makes it easier. Anyway, thank you very much. I'm going to sign off because it's actually starting to rain again, but I want to show you this tree canopy here first, because this is why I love the parks here. Look at that. I'm just going to pan around real quick. They're just so cool. And usually there's more people doing different activities, different dancing and badminton and stuff. And yeah, so thank you very much for your comment and input. And if nobody answers, that's totally fine. It'll just be a question that I'll answer in the future. Because if it is true that there isn't a difference and frequency is frequent words are just frequently used in all genres, then yay, that's something that I can pass on to other folks when they're learning the language, whenever I get to the actual thing of making my mobile apps later in the future. All right, thank you very much. Satyan.